Morning, everybody. See all that? That's today's job. To get these all assembled. Well, then there's two complete windmills here that I need to get assembled, and then one of these motors is just for a motor swap out in Chickasha, Oklahoma. So, yep. So that's probably what me and Cricket are. We gonna come here, Cricket. I don't know if y'all met Cricket or not. This is Cricket. She's a good girl. Lay down, let's rub your belly. Yep, Cricket's a good girl. Oh, this is her favorite spot. It's her favorite spot. Yep, she's the dog. She runs the farm. Head of ranch security around here. She is a rescue dog. So, which means she's super happy all the time. Seems to be that rescue dog. Oh. Now she's stretching out. Seems to me that rescue dogs are always a lot better. I don't know, not better, that's the wrong word. Let me think of a better word. They're excited that you took care of them, and I think they show that in their attitude. Creaky. But she's a good girl. We've had her, oh man, 5 or 6 years. So, yep, that's Cricket. She's the family dog. But anyway, I'm probably just gonna prop y'all up somewhere and get my little build stand set up over here. Put a motor on, start building this thing. Y'all have seen it before, it's nothing new, but I've got 2 of them to build. And maybe I'll pop in with something that I see that I've probably not covered. I may kind of go through the motor, kind of show y'all how things work on it. That might be a good idea. So, anyway. This is how I do it. There's other ways to do it, but this is how I do it. Put my little build stand on here, like so, in there. Let me go up with it. It's only about 200 and something pounds. Not terrible. Yeah. Whew. I like to bring it around here. Find a good spot where it doesn't rock too much. That. Oh, forgot that was on there. Okay. I'm gonna bring y'all over here and show y'all. I think I've already went through this. But here is the internal workings of an air motor. So the fan bolts to here, mounts to this piece. Shaft, there is a center shaft that goes through the center, through here, and then it's all in this area. The shaft completely goes through here. That shaft has these 2 gears right here that are keyed to the shaft, so they can't rotate. They're locked down to the shaft. So as those gears spin, you can kind of see what's happening. Those little gears are spinning. See that? And comes down this piece, which is what runs the pump rod. The pump rod threads up into that guy right there. You see that hole into there? I know my camera shifted upside down, but it goes up into that surface right there. There's a hole. And then the fan keeps spinning. Keeps it spinning. And we're pumping up. See that? Those 2 pitman arms right there make this action go up and down continuously. So we're gonna keep going. Comes down. There it goes. That's exactly how it works. Look at that, y'all. Perfect perfection. So, pretty amazing. Yep, it's just a bunch of gears. You can see this stuff inside here, the silvery stuff, that's called babbitt. That's what the bearings are made out of. This doesn't use like your standard, kind of like a bearing that you're thinking of. It uses those bad boys. So, yep, and I'm gonna show you all this oil ring right here. So watch that ring right there. As I rotate this around, this is the way it's gonna be spinning See that ring spinning? Every time it comes down and makes contact with that gear, like this ring gets a little bit of oil applied to it, you know, because there'll be a lot of oil on the end of these gears as it's rolling around. So this little awesome little loop right here comes down and rubs in the oil by design, and see how it spins. Watch it. Here we go. This is the direction. Ching, 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 ching. It runs about 2 inches of ring around. And so that oil, in turn, works its way up to this shaft. And oil gets completely in there, and it runs all down through all this. All this gets oiled by this continuous movement of this little guy right here running oil up to that. I mean, I can't make this stuff up, y'all. Watch it. I'm gonna go backwards just to get there. Now watch that ring. And that's technology, y'all. It's not fancy technology, but it's technology. I mean, look at that. So I just wanted to run y'all through the way this works. So another cool feature, I'm gonna try to align y'all. You can see through the center of this, straight behind this is the end of this shaft. So if you kind of imagine that shaft is sitting through here going that way, okay? Our tail mounts over here, which is probably approximately about 5 inches off of center roughly. And that is by design. That is its regulation feature. You know, that's how these things protected themselves in high winds and storms. So as the wind would hit this fan head on right here, okay, it's pushing really hard, and if it gets going real hard, with this being offset, it will load this side of that wheel, and it will cause this thing to close up, which at the same time applies a little bit of brake right here. Squeeze that brake in just a little bit, and it slows the fan down because it pulls it out of its direct line of wind. And it does that all by itself. Nobody has to come out here and do it. So I'll try to, maybe when I get this thing assembled, I'll be able to show it to you more, because the tail will be on here and you'll actually see the way this thing works. Right over here is where this guy right here, this guy will screw into here. This is what holds the tail spring, so that it's got a piece of tape on it still, but this thing will screw all the way in, and there will be something like that, and your tail mounts here, the spring will go here, and it comes out here, and it's a tension. And so when it closes, or when this thing starts to bend, the spring tightens, and that's what opens it back up when the wind subsides. So the spring will always try to keep, its job is to keep this thing open, okay, and to pull it open when you undo the lever at the ground. But the offset here creates this force which allows this thing to close up and take care of itself. So anyway, I'm gonna put y'all back on the box. We're gonna start assembling this, or actually assembling this thing, not disassembling. We're going to assemble this bad boy. All right. So here's a stack of our blades, wheel sections. These are what's called hot dip galvanized, and when I say that, what I mean is these things are completely assembled just like you see, and they're dipped down into a big vat of zinc that's molten. So what that does is it completely encapsulates all the metal in zinc, which is the galvanic material that's used. So you end up with all these big old globs of zinc that are on here. What I do is I go through and knock all these things off because they're bad, they hurt. I'll get all this cleaned up. You know, they're in there to produce things to get it out, and it's up to the installer, the builder, to take care of this. So I also have a reamer that I run through these holes to clean them up because they do kind of close in sometimes with some of the galvanizing. But yeah, so these are the mating surfaces in this area right here. So I will go in and knock all these chunks off right here and grind everything, clean it up, and put it together. That is part of it. But you're getting a hot dip galvanized wheel, so we're gonna do it. All right, here's our spokes. These are what mount the wheel to the hub, to the gearbox, to the motor. These out here. So. All right, get out of there. Get. So, see them? These are a timeable spoke, and I'll explain more of that as I go. But it's so you can tighten these things up to the hub, and if that was fixed, you know, it's going to tighten until it's in a certain spot. But you have to be able to join these to the adjacent spoke that's next to it. So what this company does is uses a big nut here, and you can rotate this around where it needs to be, bolt it together, lock it down, you're gold. So, yep, that's our spokes. Let's get them put together. Starting to rain a little bit, so I thought I'd go ahead and cover up that gearbox. Y'all, the weather here is, I feel like I'm in Seattle or somewhere. It's kind of drizzly, rainy, cloudy. This is great. It's been so hot here. It's really humid today, about 141% humidity, but it's not 112 degrees either. So I'm very thankful for that. So I went and got my 5/8 wrench. I'm gonna go through and tighten every one of these spokes up. We'll start putting this bad boy together. Hope y'all can see what I'm doing. So I like to move all these out. Nobody's in my way. Okay. All the bolts and nuts, or all the nuts and washers, lock washers, on a big zip tie. Cut it off. Maybe. I'll say it will. Voila. So I'm gonna get a piece of cardboard right here. So I got a piece of cardboard right here, and I want to set all of my nuts and washers on it. Like that. So what I do is I just grab a section, just like this. It's gonna go on. I'm the whole time ensuring that I have an intersection between this front one and the back one. They have to crisscross. The front one, back one has to crisscross all the way around. If it's not, you're getting it wrong. If it does that, it's wrong. That's all you have to worry about. So I'm gonna pull it over here sideways. Y'all won't have as good of a view, but I'll show you what I'm doing. I put one on just like this. Keep that in there. Put it in. I'm gonna go ahead and go with 2 nuts. I'm gonna go with a nut up here. Okay. Run it down. I'm gonna go with a nut on the other one over here. This one's gonna get a nut. Okay. So that's the first one. Look at that. And you always make sure the concave side is facing. If you're looking at it from the front, you see the concave side of this sail. And also ensuring that the insides of these, or the inner ring, is on the inside. So yeah, just like that. So if you sit back and look at this, wind's gonna push it. It's going to go with the wind coming through here and taking the sail and go that way. It's gonna push the sails this way, okay? So if it's going this direction, I'm gonna build it going this way because it's all a slipstream thing, and it does not matter one bit. But it's just what I do in my head, and it I don't know why. There's 2 ways you could do it. You could build it from this direction, or every time you add one to this section, you could pull this piece off and slip it under it, and then put it back on. We're gonna do it the easy way, and we're just gonna go this way. Because that way we only have to pull one off. So here's what we're gonna do. Next section, I'm going to pull the bolt off. Actually, what I'm gonna do is come up here. I'm gonna get one bolt in hand, or one nut in hand. All right, I keep calling it a bolt. It's a nut. Get one nut in hand. Slide this one on. I'm gonna go ahead and put my nut on. Okay. So that's there. Now I'm gonna come down here and hold this one. Pull a nut off. I'm gonna slide this nut in its place. Sometimes you gotta fight it. Just the way it is. So you get all your holes lined up. Just like that. I'm gonna put a nut on. That holds that wheel section. You can do this all by yourself. Mama's usually out here, but she's they have a thing in Tecumseh where they go around and feed kids in neighborhoods. So that's where she's at today. So just keep going to the next one. Before you know it, you got all of them on there. Okay. Next one goes just like I did the last one. Put it on up here. Put a nut on. And I'm bent down. It's getting easier now because my weight's more spread out. So I can use my leg here to hold it up. So I'm gonna let this slide down. I'm gonna go on with this one. Let it slide down. And we'll open up those just like that. Nut on it. Just like that. Look at that, y'all. Boom. Okay. I have a nut in hand right here. I'm gonna hold it down here at this piece now because I'm gonna be working up above my head until I get this one on. Okay. Slide it on, put your nut on. Okay. Same thing. This nut's gonna come off of here. Using my hip to push in on it. Lost my spoke. It can happen. It's okay. It's not the end of the world if it does. Okay. Oh, I messed up. You gotta make sure that this is on the inside. How about duty? So these go back in. And this one's gonna go on. And the nut. Look at that. Look at that. We're almost there, y'all. Nut in hand. Okay. Y'all, this is real time right here. This is real time. I'm not speeding this up because I want you to see how fast it can actually be done. If you take care of all the little stuff first, like drilling out the holes and make sure everything's good, totally doable. So this one, I'm gonna hold it back here because I gotta go pretty high. We're gonna go up. You can't hardly see it. I'm gonna do it this way. I get one bolt in, or one of the wheel arms in, and then go grab the other one. Come on, baby. If it's too much of a pain, you can pull it down here like this. Either way. You can use your leg against one of the other wheel sections. Hold it. You just gotta get that in there. There's that. Put a nut on. Okay. Same thing. This nut's gonna come off here. This one's the hardest one because it's got the most weight against it. Once I put that one on, we're gonna roll it around to the bottom. It'll be fairly easy. So same thing. Bring it up here. Slide it in. Look at that. Run my nut up. Okay. These are your best friend. Jerry and Mary Barker, y'all bought these for me. Some friends of ours sent us our first YouTube gifts, viewer gifts. They came from some friends down in Texas. They have what's called Farmhouse Windmills. They have a little YouTube channel. They got a good website. They sell a lot of windmills in Texas. But they were watching me struggling with my vice grips one day, and they sent me these, and these have this fancy little twisty thing. You know, I guess in theory you're supposed to be able to clamp it on and maybe put a screwdriver or something here and twist it up to tighten it. But thank y'all for these. These have worked well so far. There's also, it was a 3-pack kit. There was 2 of these big ones and then a pair of needle nose that were really long. And we did a baker last week. I don't think the video's out yet. But I had to put some nuts way up inside the stub tower, up the very top of the tower, where it gets really narrow, and the only way to do it was with a magnet that I used to have. I don't know what I did with it, But I could run this magnet way out and put a nut up there and then run it up into that hole and put the bolt in. Well, I couldn't find my, so Lori brought me those needle nose, said, try these. Perfect. Because they were about, I don't know, that long and a long skinny snoot. And I could grab one of that nut and wedge it up in there right where I needed to go. So Jerry and Mary, thank you for this. But, so what I'm gonna do is around the back side, I'm gonna bring this wheel around until this thing is on the bottom, the open gap. When it's on the bottom, I'm gonna lock the brake, set the brake. That way it stays there, I'm not trying to hold it. And then we can easily go in and put these in. You could, there's another couple of things you could do. If we wanted to, we could bring it down to, say, right here and work on it. But what you always have to make sure of is the direction of your brake band. So if I was to run it, I'm gonna come get y'all. Just bring it over here. If I was to bring this wheel this way, and I was to clamp onto this brake right here, if I clamp that, there's a lot of weight on that side of the wheel. It's wanting to make it rotate backwards. And what that would do is that would bend your brake band in this area probably, because we would be clamped somewhere over here and all the weight would be pushing this thing this way, and it could bend your brake band. The last thing you want is a bent brake band because they make a lot of racket. They like to rub, they make racket. So if you can do it without that, don't bend your brake band. So if I bring it this way and I was to clamp right there, which I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you what it's gonna do. It totally, I'm gonna get this set first so I can try to get y'all a really good view of what I'm doing here. So when I clamp on a brake, this is what I do. I just clamp it down like that. I'm gonna open this up just a tad. So if I do that, see, this wheel doesn't want to move. It's locked. But if there is enough pressure on that side to make it go that way, see how I have a gap right here? This could force that up and deform this band. You do not want to do that. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to run it this way, and I'll show you what it's going to do. I'm using my knee to kind of hold this. So we're going to do something. I'll show you something. So I'm going to lock this brake band down right here. A little tighter. A little bit tighter. I don't want it sliding around on me. Okay. So I'll lock this down here. Wow, that's tight. Too tight. Now watch what that gap does. Watch, I'm gonna let go of it. See how that gap closes up? It will not deform it that way if you let it go this way. So this is the correct way that you want this thing to go. So you can see that brings this section that we're installing to here. And we're not deforming our brake band. Everybody's happy. So I wanted to run y'all through that in case y'all try to build one of these one day on your own, which you should. I think everybody should. You'll know kind of what to look for. So let's get this last section on, and we'll be done here, and we'll get the tail hooked up to it. So overlapping. So I'm going to go on top of this one, and it'll go under this one. So I'm going to pull this off, pull this nut off, and I want to put this nut somewhere like right there, where I can find it real easy. So I've got to get this section lifted off and this put in. I didn't deburr this one. Where's my drill? Where are you, drill? All right, it's good now. So let's do it. So it's gonna be fun because once I pull this off, these are gonna go whatever they want to do. So we gotta get it calm down. We'll get this on, get this one in, bring it down, get these two in, just like that. I'm gonna get my nut that I had right here. Oh, I dropped it. Get my nut started on it, just like that. And this one will go right on top of this one. Again, I'm gonna put my knee right here, hold it, just like so. We're gonna go in with it. This is the hardest one to get together because you're dealing, everything's tight now. So we're gonna pull this down like that. Up. Get a pair of vice grips in here. I'm going to take my vice grips off of this. I don't need them anymore. They did their job. So I'm going to wiggle this around. And it's going to go in at some point. Just got to wiggle it just a little bit. Rotate just a tad. Put my nut right there because I've already got it in the top. Just got to get the bottom in a little better. It is. That's it. So everybody is happy. All right. So take that off. Let's put together. Okay. So what I like to do now is I'm gonna rotate this. There's two things we could do. If I was on some less, man, this rain's amazing. Can you see it is hitting everything around here? There's two ways that we could go about this. If you were on some softer ground or didn't have a good build stand like this, at this time is a good time to go ahead and put your tail on. Put the tailbone on, get the vane bolted to it. That way it's a counterweight. Get your spring there so everything's staying backwards. I'm good. I've done this a lot to know that I don't really have to do that yet. I can keep kind of doing what I'm doing with while it's in my noggin, and then we'll put the vane on. But now I'm going to go through and pull all these bolts out of this center section right here on those, because every one of those front spokes, the ones on the very front, these wheel arms all have a bracket with a bolt through. I'm going to take all those off and get everybody bolted together, and then I'll go through and install all the lock nuts or lock washers, and then nuts on the wheel. Man, we're gonna be in business. Let's put them all in my hand like this. Everybody goes in the hand. So I put a lock washer on and a nut. Lock washer and a nut all the way around. Take that one off. Put a lock washer on it. Lock washer. Do it. This rain feels amazing. Amazing. out. Okay. GoPro stop capture. So this is where this right here and a pair of those Klein vice grip adjustable thingy, squeezy thing come in handy, because we'll shove it down through all the whole assembly and then get these together. So actually, so what I like to do is like that and like that, bring them all everybody together, put my punch through there. I'm gonna open up. I probably don't even need to do that. I'll show you. You know, if you can just get your nut through there, by all means do it. Sometimes you can. Sometimes things just need a little bit of, you know, love from the vice grips or whatever. So go in with your lock washer and a nut. And I'm looking for straight alignment right here. So, okay. So I got this one loose. And then like the last one, I like to put everything the same. So that'll go on top of that, that'll go there. Let's just get a bolt, see if we can do it without having to use the pokey thing. So that through there. See, I'm gonna pull it apart. So there, that, and then this one will go next. That one will go next. Put your washer on. Look at your nut. Okay, next. Again, I'm not sure what y'all can see. I hope y'all can see this okay. Okay, bolt, nut, and washer. Same thing. This guy goes, let's put this on there. Like that, get in there. This guy will go on next. This guy will go on last. Sometimes I gotta get my bolt down a little further. So this is not one that'd be good to have our punch through. So let's take it apart. I'll show you how we do it if we have a punch. Get my bolt out of there. I'm gonna assemble everybody like they would be. This guy goes there, that guy goes there, and run them all through, just like that. Get my vice grips, and I open them up to where they're gonna clamp on all four of these pieces together, like that. And I like to move my my punch around so it kind of centers everything. I need to open it a little tighter on this. Like that. Kind of move everything, get everybody happy. Pull that out. And our bolt will just go right up on through here, more than likely. Sometimes something's got to be a pain, you know, but you know what? I think I can still go tighter here. Not very tight, I guess. Sounds tighter than it is. You can tap this. And that out of there like so. It should 146% go right through. Boom. Got. Okay, there's that one. Bring y'all around to this one. Right there. Try it right here. So this one going next, and this one goes on last. Attention to detail is, you know, none of this matters on the way I'm. Cricket, leave whatever's in there alone. She hears a mouse or something in the wood pile. But do not lose sleep over the stack up of any of this just because I'm doing it a certain way, because I'm just, I don't know. I am a machinist by trade. I've been a tool maker for about the last 20 years of my life. And that being said, you know, we try to do things as what's the word, precise as possible. And I don't know, you know, a saying that we say in that world is, if you can't make it right, make it pretty. Well, I'm gonna try to do both here. And the reason is because 30, 40 years down the road, I'll probably be dead. Somebody's gonna be climbing this thing and servicing it and looking at it. And I don't want them going, who in the world did this stupid stuff? So that's why I try to do everything uniform. And pretty. Now my welding is a totally different story, but it holds. It ain't beautiful. Cut. Snap it. Wiggle it in a little bit. Nice bolt. Washer and nut. Cricket, get out of that wood pile. Goes on just like that. Okay. So what I can do now is go around and start tightening everything. You've seen it before. I like to give everything a good wiggle before I start tightening things, because things, you know, it's gonna end up finding its own natural place to set. And if you tighten it up in a spot it doesn't like to be setting in, I mean, it's always going to have tension under it. It's always going to have added stresses that don't need to be in it. So if it's perfectly built, you'll see that these guys are straight in front of each other. They're in alignment. If these were shaped like a V, you know you have problems on your build somehow. So this is an indicator that we have a good build. So I'm going to go through and get these tightened up. We'll put the tail on. Y'all, so I'm gonna put the tail on now, and this is what's called a buffer, okay? And its job is to go in here like this and open. When the tail opens and closes, it goes bam, and this spring takes up all the shock that's going to be in the system, okay? So I'm gonna free up some of the paint here, because they really put the paint on sometimes, which is good. Okay, get everybody happy and square. Okay. So what I want to do here is get this in. This bolt hole, so there's a bolt hole on that end and threaded stud on that end. So this goes in from the top like this. And then this is going to go in here, like so. Run through. And then right here, up top. There. Okay. So, open this thing all the way up like it is. Take that and leave it. We're going to go on with this. Hang on, I gotta get this in there. Everybody's got to go in at the same time. So this is going to go in right here first. Hope you can see that. And then I put this on the bottom. It's going to slide on the bottom. And we're going to go up and over like this and hook on the bolt, just like that. Just like that. I'm going to put a clamp on our wheel. See how easy that thing's wanting to run? It's want to start pumping water already. So, I'm going to put my nut and split washer up here. Normally the bonnet would be off right now. It's just sitting up there because I don't want water getting in it. So down here, I'm going to grab my pokey. We'll rotate this around where it'll let everything line up right there. Like that. This bolt is going to go into it. And I run the bolt in this way. So the lock washer and the nut can be on a flat surface. So put those on. Just like that. Okay. Now this guy can come off there. Or gal, I don't know what it is. I didn't ask it. You know, I really don't care what it is. As long as it does its job, I don't care what it is. Rotate around, get that through there. Same deal, I want my nut and lock washer on a flat surface. I'm gonna put them over here on the back side of this plate. It just gives us something a little more substantial to bite onto. So when this tail's all the way open, we're 90 degrees right here. We're up against that. Amazingness. Simply plumb stinking amazingness. At this point, we're gonna put our spring on. Okay. This is our spring. It has a hook on one end, and that little guy on this end. I always hook it out here on the tail first. I'm gonna put it quite a ways out. I'm gonna put it on the bottom. It's gonna go on the bottom like that. I'm gonna get around here on y'all's side so I can squeeze it if I need to. Come here. And it's gonna do this. It's just gonna go right up here to this gearbox. 1, 2, 3, go! Just like that. So that spring is called a governor spring. And so, see how when I close this, it pulls back open? When you're down there and you want to pump some water and you open the lever down at the ground, that spring is what opens your tail up and gets your windmill facing the wind. Has a big job, that little feller does. Tighten this bad boy down. These are a 3/4 inch wrench. 3/4 inch wrench. Tight. I'm going to get the impact. Oh, come here. Tighten this bad boy up. Here. Tight enough. Okay. So there's that, y'all. Boing. Boing. So, stuff is just too cool, I'm telling you. Too cool for school. Ba-da, 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 shoo. Just a little bit. Keep her from doing this thing. Oh. Open up this cotter pin just a tad here, so it don't come apart in transit. So, all right. Now I'm gonna move y'all right here. Let me set y'all right here. So I'm gonna start with this bolt right y'all. Start with this bolt right here. I'm going to run it through here, and that's going to go through. What I like to do is kind of get the thing in the air. Oh yeah! Let's go for this one. Yeah. Yep. Middle leg. Like that. Get in there, right? Get on. There it is. It has a flat washer. A nut on it. It's also got a lock washer on it. We'll get it on here in a second. When I get all this put together right here, it'll help me hold that and I can get it in easier. So around here, there's two U-bolts that go on. Hope you can see all that. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm not sure how to get this in the camera without. So, yeah. All right, let's get long bolt, two lock washers, and two nuts. Okay. And are you too good for your home? Wow, there it is. Ah! Where you at, y'all? Don't you love it? Just amazing. Oh, the breeze and the sprinkles are amazing. Okay, and this little U-bolt gonna go through here. There. This flat plate is gonna go on. Each one of these gets a lock washer and a nut. Get it. I get these fingers to work. Fingers and hands to work. Everybody has to work. Okay. There we go. That's what we needed to do. Look at that. Boom. Ran up. Okay. I gotta get this. Gotta be able to get it. There it is, boom. Where it's at. Okay. Run this in with the bad one. Cut. I gotta get the right. I think that's a half. I'll be back. Okay. All right. Y'all, you did it again. You have assembled a complete Aermotor 702 windmill. The last time I did this, there were a couple of viewers that were like, man, can you go in a little bit more detail? And that was the first time I'd ever videoed the assembly of one of these. So you got to see the whole thing from the start to the beginning. Look at this thing. It's fixed to start doing what it does, y'all. Right here on the ground. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. And that's what it should sound like. I'm gonna spin it a little bit. Got a little bit of gear noise in there. Remember, there's no oil inside this yet, so it's dry, but listen to that. That right there, it's quality windmill. This right here is, as you can see on the gearbox, it's a A702 Aermotor. They were made a long time ago, and they're still amazing. You can see Aermotor poking through right there. See, it's an Aermotor. But this is an old one. This sucker's been on ranches for years and years until it was deemed unworthy of doing its job. Worn out, whatever was wrong with it. This is just like, the way I look at this right here, the 702 Aermotor is a small block Chevy 350, 4-bolt main. This is the one that you want to build your hot rod engine on, this 702. And that's kind of how I explain to people. This is the frame that you want to build your motor on. So this gearbox is amazing. Aermotor is an amazing company. They did a great job with this, but they don't rebuild them anymore. There was a small time in there where they would rebuild these just like this and we could buy them, but they don't anymore. So this is a Dakota brand. They come out of South Dakota. And I'm telling you, look at this. All this galvanizing. This thing will outlast all of us. As long as it's taken care of, as long as it's maintained, as long as it's turned off in storms, when storms are coming, this thing's gonna outlast all of us. It'll be pumping water till my grandkids are windmillers. Hopefully that's the case. But anyway, I guess I'll sign out. I can't think of anything else I need to tell y'all about it. I don't put oil in it until I go to install it. So I'll show you that when we put it up. But anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. Thank y'all. If y'all kind of brought the rain wherever you're from, thank you. Rain's amazing. We love it. But thank y'all so much. Please hit the old like and the subscribe button. If you're just kind of running through and see us, go ahead and subscribe to us so you'll get them notifications every time one of our new videos comes out. We love it. We love y'all watching us. We love making good content. Put in the comments below if you want to see something different. This was a highly requested thing that people want to see. It was a more detailed assembly. So we done it. There we go. Look at that beautiful thing. Y'all have a great day. Bye.